It's not that I can't do anything else. It's that that's the pace in the world that I enjoy living in. That's the restfulness and empowerment for Aikido. Let's see. So all of that stuff was going on kind of around my Nidan. The next couple of years, I'm still doing the dreaming things. I'm training like a maniac. I'm going to every class there is, getting better. And there weren't any lunch classes on Wednesdays. We had lunch classes every day of the week, evening classes every day of the week. Nothing on Wednesdays. So I approached Sensei and said, I'd like to do a class on Wednesdays. I'd like to do a self-study program for black belts, and it will be leaderless, it will be non-hierarchical. We'll figure this out on our own. So every Wednesday, I'd go to the dojo, and me and a whole bunch of big guys would show up, and we'd do Aikido. We'd bow ourselves in, we'd sit and pay attention to each other, and we'd bow ourselves in. We'd circle up and we'd talk about who wants to work at what today. And then we'd train for an hour. We'd bow ourselves out. And at that time, there were a lot of big guys, Anthony-sized guys. Okay, there were a lot of big guys. And they're going, well, does this really work on the streets? We had not moved out of that quite as readily. Those conversations kept coming up. So we spent a lot of time beating each other up. Okay, we spent a lot of time with, you grab that arm and I'll grab this arm and you punch him in the stomach and let's see what he does. And nobody got hurt. And it took a long time for us to kind of work out that stuff. And eventually we got to where nobody wanted to test the boundaries of Aikido as a fighting art. We finished with that. And when we finished with that, I realized that I was physically whole in a way that I had not been before. I've never been a person who's frightened. I've been a person who's curious. And I worked at the state hospital for many years, so I've been hit. I've been attacked. I know what that stuff is. So I wasn't afraid to be out on the street. I wasn't worried about what do I do if somebody attacks me in a dark alley, because I know that that doesn't happen very often. And that if it did, I'd figure it out. But after I finished training with these guys for a year or two, I realized that I could handle anything. It made me feel invincible. And Aikido gave me this huge bubble of feeling that I carried with me anywhere I went. So what I learned, remember I started out with Aikido as a metaphor, right? You step forward, you get out of the way, all this stuff, move the feet. But what I learned is that Aikido is not a metaphor for life. Aikido simply is life. To say it's a metaphor is like saying a dog is a metaphor for a dog. It's just the way life is. And it happens to be an art form that lets us explore and manifest what that is.